Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly Norris Guerrero and I am Native American. I didn't always know that I was a Native American, but deep inside I did. I was born in 1962 in Oklahoma, but was given up for adoption by my birth mother. Not long after, I was adopted by the Norris family. My new mom and dad loved me and gave me a good life. I remember that I had a pet cat who was my best friend. Growing up, I never felt like I belonged with the people around me. I really enjoyed being in my surroundings and connected with nature, and that was different. My cat liked to be one with nature, and sometimes I would pretend to be a cat with her. Then one day, my parents sat me down and told me that I was adopted, and that my real parents were Native Americans. Even though I was surprised, everything in my world made a lot more sense. However, I felt a sense of displacement because I didn't know anything about my identity. I attended UCLA on scholarship and started working in the movie industry. During my free time, I did a lot of research on Native Americans and on my real family. I was able to track down my relatives and decided to go visit them. I visited the reservation, and it was there that I discovered that I am part of the Salish, Kootenai, and Cherokee tribe. I saw how my people were living, and instead of feeling displaced once again, I decided to combine my two passions, the movie industry and the Native American heritage. I wanted to channel everything I learned into my focus towards making the movie industry more educational about the true history of Native Americans. I was able to make an appearance in the movie Son of the Morning Star, about two Native American women and their perspectives on the war against westernization, and many more movies. I was even on an episode of Seinfeld, blasting the offensive stereotypes of Native Americans. Having a voice in the entertainment industry is very important in getting a message across to many people, and I am determined to continue into the future.
Here's a story of me, Pocahontas. No, not the Disney version where I sing Colors of the Wind, but the real version. That's me, the chief's daughter of the Powhatan tribe. My real name is Amanut, but my nickname is Pocahontas, which means playful one. Growing up, I would go foraging for food and firewood for big feasts. I also farmed alongside my family and helped find plant material to build homes. However, our way of life changed when the English arrived here. It was then when we started to feel displaced because even though we were in our own home, we didn't feel safe, causing us to migrate to another location. Our new home didn't feel like an authentic Powhatan tribe. We could do nothing but settle. This displacement forced us to survive and assimilate into a new, uncomfortable surrounding. A few years later, distrust and greed exacerbated the tension between Jamestown settlers and my tribe. The English tricked me into boarding on a ship where I was held captive for weapons and tools. My curiosity and trust led me to a few disastrous decisions. The captain was dissatisfied with the inadequate weapons my father sent. During this ordeal, I found out my father valued his weapons over me. I was very disillusioned and did not return home. The English kept me in Henricus, Virginia, where I improved my English and was baptized, adopting the Christian name of Rebecca. I married a tobacco plantation owner named John Rolfe, and gave birth to a beautiful son named Thomas. Our marriage actually lessened the tension between Jamestown settlers and the Powhatan tribe. I always thought of myself as a mediator, and I performed my role very well. I even attended a masquerade ball and dressed in fancy English clothes. Also, the emotional labor tied to my role as a mediator seemed appropriate considering the alienation I felt from my own tribe. It might seem like I abandoned my tribe, but I was caught in between two places and had a feeling of liminality. I do not belong anywhere. However, I do not fully assimilate to the English culture. Both the Native American and the Filipino diaspora experienced colonization and forced the movement of its people. Filipinos were displaced during the galleon trade, and the Native Americans were forced to move to new homelands when the English arrived. Both had their cultures wiped out and almost completely forgotten. They were both targeted and were unable to effectively resist because of language barrier or other circumstances. Even with everything, both ethnicities have been thorough. They have both been able to push through and keep their cultures alive.